Colorado's most valuable company keeps a pretty low profile locally, but Palantir is drawing concerns nationally from Democrats who are worried about Palantir's potential plan to work with the Trump administration on building a database on all Americans. This comes as the U.S. Army is recruiting Palantir's executives to join the military. Here's Mark Salinger.
The letter from Washington is addressed to Palantir's CEO. The address in Denver leads to a nondescript office building with no signs marking the presence of Colorado's most valuable company. Yet the letter, signed by 4 Democratic senators and 6 Democratic representatives, raises more questions about the Denver-based technology company's work with the Trump administration. We write to demand information regarding reports that Palantir is amassing troves of data on Americans to create a government-wide searchable mega database containing the sensitive taxpayer data of American citizens, the letter reads. The lawmakers write that the Department of Defense recently awarded Palantir a $795 million contract to analyze data for the U.S. military. Now Capitol Hill wants to know exactly who else Palantir is working with inside the Trump administration.
I don't believe that Palantir is collecting any information. I believe it's purely building a database that's sort of combining the information.
While little information about Palantir's work is known, Vice President J.D. Vance tried to tone down concerns about the company on Theo Vaughn's podcast.
We've got to live in reality, and the government's already got this information. We just need to make sure they don't misuse it.
Palantir's chief technology officer was recently sworn in as an Army Reserve lieutenant colonel. The Army says it's an effort to find high-tech solutions to complex problems. But as Palantir grows, lots of questions remain about what exactly it's doing. While no Colorado Democrats signed on to that letter that was sent to Palantir, we did get statements from a couple today, just a couple of minutes ago, adding to the growing list of people now raising questions about Palantir. Congressman Jason Crow told us that he strongly opposes the Trump administration creating a database of any sort of Americans' most personal information. And Representative Brittany Pettersen calls the work being done deeply troubling and that we need clear answers, Kyle, about what this data is being used for.
I think people are certainly curious, right? I think the first question a lot of people have is like, can they do this? Is there existing federal law that would stop them from doing this?
Yeah, there are Privacy Act. The Privacy Act of 1974 is what it was called, and that was intended to silo information from different government agencies. So, for example, tax data stays with the IRS. This, in theory, could go around that in some way potentially and say, okay, government data is for the entire government to use.
Very interesting stuff. Appreciate that you've been all over this for a while. Mark Salinger, thank you.